Hello friends, subscribers, and fellow survivors of narcissistic abuse. Welcome back to Diary of a Narcissist's Ex-Wife. My name is Meredith, and these are my true stories, thoughts, opinions, and now fairy tales. I wanted to address that with y'all real quick because, this channel started out as a serious channel with me reading from my diary, talking about it, sharing things that I had learned about narcissism. And then I started talking about Harry and Meghan, and now I've got my little fairy tales going on, which I've enjoyed, writing about. But the channel has changed a little bit from what it originally started out at. And I don't want to disappoint anybody, especially those of you who are my very early subscribers, because I cherish you so much. So if you want me to take a break from the fairy tales and do a serious video, or if there's something that you would like me to do a video on, I have had one person that asked me about the aging and elderly narcissists. So I've been trying to do some research on that because that's not anything I have an experience with. I got to leave mine when, he was still mid-40s and I was, mid-40s as well. But I know that being an aging and elderly narcissist is his fate, and I'm very anxious to see what that holds for him. What I have managed to find out so far is that they pretty much end up mean. They don't get any better. They get worse. They get meaner, alone, because nobody is around them unless they absolutely have to be. They've lost everybody at that point because they are just so horrible. And the people who have to be around them just pretty much hate them. And from the research I've done, I hate to say this, but most of their caregivers at the end of their lives just can't wait for them to go. So that seems to be what the aging and elderly narcissists have in for them, but I will do some more research on that and see what I can find out. But anyway, I have another fairy tale for you today, but if you want me to talk about something serious or want another diary entry, let me know. Where we left off on the last fairy tale, the Duchess had thought she had made her plans to get the baby she wanted, but her plans did not turn out the way that she wanted them to, and now she was scrambling. That's where we left off. Duchess Meghan's courtiers fanned out throughout the entire kingdom, desperately searching for the doppelganger child who would be presented to the people of the kingdom and Prince Harry as his heir. As the Duchess anxiously waited for messages from her courtiers, she opened her third eye and asked it to see the child she and her prince would have had if her evil insides hadn't shriveled and died. There he was. That was the child she must find. The courtiers sent the impatient Duchess photos of adorable baby boys throughout the day, but none of them bore a close enough resemblance to her husband, the prince, and none of them were the child she had seen with her third eye. And she knew a facial distortion spell would only last for so long, so she held out for that perfect child. One day, as Duchess Meghan sat there imperiously belittling her servants and making them cry for her amusement, her phone buzzed. And there he was, the child she had seen when she had opened her third eye. An adorable baby boy with a tuft of red hair and blue eyes to match his future father, her husband, the prince. The Duchess immediately responded to her courtier and authorized her representative to offer the parents 5,000 pieces of gold to buy their child and allow him to be raised as her son in the palace. In her jubilation at having found the child and her belief that the parents would never deny her purchase of their child, Duchess Meghan called the palace physician and pretended to go into labor. The palace doctor, a portly old man, arrived out of breath and was surprised to see the Duchess sitting calmly in her armchair, not appearing to be in labor at all. The doctor bowed, then quickly raised himself up and asked anxiously, "How far apart are your Royal Highness's pains?" Duchess Meghan laughed at him cruelly and said, "You silly little man. I am not with child. I just need you to sign the announcement for outside the palace walls to say that I gave birth." The doctor stammered in shock. But, Your Royal Highness, I cannot, for you did not." Duchess Meghan had anticipated his refusal and had a spell ready to cast upon him. She waved her right arm in a circular motion before him and cast her spell. "You old doctor, you think you're smart, but really you're just a smelly old fart. Upon this parchment place thy name, or in 1 second I cast thee lame." Duchess Meghan waited for the doctor to become lame, but her spell was not strong enough to overcome the Hippocratic oath. So she had to be content with him not signing the child's birth announcement and allowing himself to be paid quite handsomely for his silence about her not giving birth and his newfound knowledge that she was a witch. And so the announcement of the child's birth was posted on the gates of the palace without the attending physician's signature. To the people who were not under Duchess Meghan's sugar spell, this made sense because they knew no child had been born of the Duchess's body. And to those who had fallen under the sugar spell, the Duchess's explanation that they wanted to keep things private sufficed. Now, all Duchess Meghan had to do was wait for the arrival of the child who would be presented to her husband and the kingdom as their new prince. That evening, as the Duchess impatiently paced the floor in her rooms, her phone buzzed. She had a text message. She glanced at it quickly. Then her eyes widened in disbelief at the words of the message. "They refused to sell their baby. I offered quadruple, but they still refused." Duchess Meghan quickly texted back, "But that is almost a king's ransom. How could they refuse?" An answer quickly arrived. They said they loved their baby, and all the queen's fortune wouldn't be enough for them to give up their child. Duchess Meghan did not understand that some people can't be bought, but she knew she must get her hands on that child. But how? And what to do in the meantime, since she had allowed the proclamation to be made that her child was born? The people of the kingdom would be expecting to see this child that she had supposedly birthed. And that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed my story. Please leave me comments below, and if you want to hear something serious, let me know and we'll talk about it. I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye-bye.